the pride of the Corps. The sun was rising over the bustling studio lot where the magic of cinema happened every single day. Inside one of the modest dressing rooms, Gomer Pyle was busy with his own morning ritual. He was a man of simple heart and great sincerity, a Marine whose voice could ring out like a bell in the morning air. Today was not just any ordinary day at the base or the studio. It was the day they were scheduled to film the most significant scenes for a motion picture featuring the men of the United States Marine Corps. Gomer stood in front of the mirror, his face bright with anticipation, as he repeated a classic tongue twister to warm up his vocal cords. "She sells seashells by the seashore," he whispered to himself, then a bit louder. "She sells seashells by the seashore." A sharp knock sounded at the door, and Gomer called out for the visitor to come in without breaking his rhythm. Sergeant Carter stepped into the room, looking every bit the stern leader he was known to be. However, there was something different about him today. He seemed to be vibrating with a nervous energy that he tried to mask with his usual gruff exterior. "Pyle," the sergeant barked, "are you about ready? The studio car will be here in a few minutes to pick us up." Gomer turned around with a wide smile, noticing that the sergeant was moving his arms and shoulders in a series of strange, fluid motions. "Maybe my moo-moo," Gomer replied, though his mind was more focused on his superior officer. "What are you doing, Sergeant?" "I am loosening up," Sergeant Carter replied, continuing his rhythmic movements. "Today is the day we shoot the big scenes, so I am loosening up. Those are exercises actors use when they loosen up." He took a deep breath and began to recite with intense concentration. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Gomer was genuinely impressed. "Gosh, that is good, Sergeant. That is real good. Nice and loud and clear, just like a professional actor. But do you not think you better be practicing the line you are going to do in the picture?" The sergeant waved off the concern with a confident flick of his wrist. "Oh, I got that down perfect. These difficult lines are just to get me warmed up." Gomer leaned in, curious. "What is the line you are going to do, Sergeant? You want to hear it?" The sergeant asked, his chest swelling with pride. "Listen to this." He cleared his throat and projected his voice as if addressing a crowded room. "Okay, let us hear it for Henshaw." He looked at Gomer for reaction. "Of course, that is just the line. I do not know what the director is going to want me to do while I am saying it. He might want me climbing up a flagpole saying it, or he might want me crawling on my belly. I am all prepared. I got the line. All I need is some stuff to do." Gomer nodded in agreement. "Sure, glad I do not have to do any lines. I would be too nervous. I am just happy that all I have to do in the picture is sing." The heat was on. The two Marines made their way to the set, where the atmosphere was electric with the hum of cameras and the shouting of instructions. Sergeant Carter continued to repeat his line under his breath, trying to find the perfect cadence. "Okay, let us hear it for Henshaw." He stopped in front of a shiny surface and tilted his head. "What you doing now, Sergeant?" Gomer asked. "I am trying to figure out which is my best side. When I say my line, I want them to shoot my best side." He practiced again, turning his head slightly to the left. "Okay, let us hear it for Henshaw." "Yeah, I sure hope the director shoots me full face. That is my best side." Suddenly, a busy production assistant marched over. "All right, knock it off, you people. Try to act a little professional. Pyle, Gomer Pyle. You're doing the song, right?" When Gomer confirmed, the assistant pointed down the hall. "Mr. Miles wants Rudy to make you up personally, so you go down to makeup room A. That is right down there. And the rest of you fellows go to makeup room B, which is right over there." Sergeant Carter stepped forward, hoping for the same VIP treatment. "Hey, fella. I am Sergeant Carter. The one with the line?" The assistant barely looked up from his clipboard. "Yeah, I know. You go to room B with the others." "Do you not think I need special makeup?" the sergeant asked, his ego slightly bruised. "Sergeant, if Mr. Miles had wanted special makeup, he would have ordered it. Now, will you please hurry? We are on a very tight schedule." A short while later, Gomer was ready. He stood before Mr. Miles, the director, who looked him over with a critical eye. "He is ready, Mr. Miles. We would like to check him over," the assistant said. Mr. Miles nodded. "Get the rest of them on the set." He looked at Gomer and patted his shoulder. "Yeah, he looks fine. Just a little shiny." Mop him down, huh? I sure hope I do not disappoint you, Mr. Miles, Gomer said sincerely. Oh, I have heard you sing. You are going to be fine. Join the rest of the fellows. As the Marines gathered, Mr. Miles began to explain the scene. Okay, everybody, let me give you a rundown on what the action is. He stopped abruptly when his eyes fell on Sergeant Carter. You never had a mustache, did you? No, sir, the sergeant replied. Then what is that? Well, I had the makeup man put it on. I figured I was the sergeant. I should have something make me stand out. Mr. Miles sighed, rubbing his temples. Yeah, well, those stripes will do that. Now, why do you not go have the makeup man take it off? And hurry it up, will you? Time costs money around here. Once the mustache was removed and everyone was in place, the director continued his instructions. You fellows are all here in the Air Cadets Club, and you are waiting for Henshaw. Now, Henshaw, as you know, is a fellow that you have hated all through flight training because he has been behaving like a spoiled, rich kid. So, you have been giving him the silent treatment. You have made him feel like an outsider. But today, Henshaw redeemed himself. He pulled one of your buddies out of a flaming airplane and saved his life. Now, he has just been released from the hospital. And so you are waiting here to give him a surprise party. Now, as soon as he comes through the door, when I say action, all you balloon people up there, and the cork poppers and the streamer throwers, you all go into action. And everybody give a good cheer for Henshaw, okay? Now, Sergeant, when I throw you the cue like this, you say your line. You look at Henshaw, and you say, okay, let us hear it for Henshaw. Got it? Got it, the sergeant replied, his face a mask of concentration. Gomer, as soon as you hear that, you start to sing and all the rest of the people join in with you. Mr. Miles then turned to a young woman hidden inside a giant prop. Gloria, when you hear the sergeant's line, you come popping out of the cake. You got it? Okay, Mr. Miles, she chirped from inside the frosting. The director called for the rehearsal to begin. Roll it. The clapperboard snapped. Scene 6, take 1. Now remember, Sergeant, you watch for my cue, right? Action. The doors swung open. The balloons dropped. The streamers flew. But there was a deafening silence where the sergeant's line should have been. Cut! 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 Mr. Miles shouted. Sergeant, I threw you the cue. Did you forget the line? I know, sir. I remembered it, but, well, with the camera rolling and all them people watching, I guess. I am sorry, sir. I will get it this time. Okay, just relax, Mr. Miles said, surprisingly patient. Happens to everybody the first time. Take it easy. Take deep breaths. Gomer leaned over to whisper some advice. You know, another real good way, Sergeant, is just kind of slump over and let your whole body go limp. And wiggle your fingers. I read in Movie Journal magazine that is what Troy Donahue does right before he does a big dramatic thing. The sergeant ignored the finger-wiggling advice, but tried to steady himself. I am fine, Mr. Miles. The second take began. Scene 6, take 2. Everything went perfectly until the cue was given. The sergeant, eager to make up for his previous mistake, shouted the line before the director's hand had even finished the motion. Okay, let us hear it, Van Jaw. Cut, cut, cut. Mr. Miles groaned. You jumped the cue. Don't be so eager. I was over-anxious. I know that, the sergeant admitted, wiping sweat from his brow. By take 3, the pressure was mounting. Action. The director yelled. Okay, let us hear it for Peter Piper. The sergeant roared. Peter Henshaw. Make up. Surprise. Cut, cut, cut. Mr. Miles put his head in his hands. Oh, man, Chuck, it is going to be one of those days. The hours ticked by. The production grew weary. Take 14 came and went with more confusion. When the director told the sergeant the line one more time, Gloria popped out of the cake prematurely because she thought she heard the cue. It is too dark in here, she complained. It will be a lot brighter at the unemployment office. Mr. Miles snapped back. By take 32, the special effects team was out of champagne and the studio was littered with thousands of popped balloons. Okay, that is it for today. Make it a wrap, the director finally announced. As they walked away, Gomer tried to cheer his superior up. Gee, it did not seem to go too good today. But do not worry, Sergeant. In movies, they never do expect to get it right the first day. I read in Photo Gossip magazine that when they were shooting Gone with the Wind, they had to burn Atlanta 8 times before they got it right. I guess it is just a tough break, huh? The sergeant sighed. The next morning, the sergeant was back in his room, practicing with more fervor than ever. Okay, let us hear it, Fanshawe.
Come in.
He shouted at the door as Gomer entered. Pyle? You got that line down real good now, Sergeant. Are you ready to go? No, the sergeant said, looking confused. I did not get my call yet. Gomer frowned. Well, that is strange. We all got our calls. We are supposed to be at the studio at 9 o'clock. The sergeant checked his phone, even calling the operator to see if it was working. No calls. I wonder what is going on. Wait a minute, Gomer said, a light bulb going off. I know what it is. You are the leading character in the scene. They probably want to get everything set up and then they will call you. Let you relax a little longer. They do that with important actors all the time. Maybe you are right, the sergeant mused, feeling a bit better. I guess you cannot fight the system. However, back at the studio, a different conversation was taking place. Mr. Miles was talking to Gomer. Pyle, good. I wanted to talk to you. Sir, Sergeant Carter is still at the hotel waiting on his call. I know, Mr. Miles said. Listen, Pyle, you say the line. Okay, let us hear it for Henshaw.
Me?
But that is Sergeant Carter's line. Gomer was shocked. We took 32 takes yesterday, Pyle. I cannot waste any more time. But he told everyone back at the base. Gomer pleaded. He will feel awful. I have a picture to make, Pyle. Get in the set. The scene began. Gomer delivered the line perfectly on the first try, but his heart was not in it. His singing was flat, his shoulders were slumped, and he looked miserable.
Cut.
Mr. Miles shouted. What is wrong? I think he misses his sergeant, the assistant whispered.
Mr. Miles sighed.
He knew he could replace the line, but he could not replace Gomer's voice. He made a phone call. A short while later, Sergeant Carter arrived, beaming. Mr. Miles, I got the line down perfect. Sergeant, I have been thinking, the director said, putting an arm around him. I got the feeling that we have not been utilizing your talents to the fullest. We are wasting you in that small part. You should have something much bigger. The pivotal character. The whole picture revolves around you. Gomer watched with a wide grin as the sergeant was led away to a special makeup chair. When the final take began, the scene was transformed. The doors opened, and there stood Sergeant Carter, but not as a shouting officer. He was the hero who had been saved, his face covered in dramatic bandages, lying on a stretcher. Gomer stood over him, leading the group in a rousing chorus of "For he is a jolly good fellow." The song swelled, the energy was high, and the camaraderie was palpable. The next day, the Marines gathered to watch the daily rushes. Gomer smiled as the screen showed the touching moment. Wasn't it nice of Mr. Miles to let us see the films? Yeah, but I sure did not have much to do, the sergeant muttered, looking at his bandaged self on screen.
And you can hardly recognize me.
But you did a real good job, Sergeant, Gomer insisted. Even though you did not say nothing, it was all there in the expression on your face. Your little eyes just squinched up with pain. That is what I call real acting. The sergeant smiled secretly. Show business definitely is not for me, he said, though his chest was puffed out just a little bit more than usual. As they walked out of the studio, a young boy ran up to them with a pen and paper. Can we have your autograph? Are you actors? No, son, we are not, the sergeant began. Don't let him fool you, son, Gomer interrupted. He is a real fine actor. His name is Vince Carter. You remember that name, because you're going to be hearing all about him. Really? Can I have your autograph, Mr. Carter? The sergeant took the paper, a genuine smile breaking through his tough exterior. Sure, kid, but that is Sergeant Carter. Sergeant Vincent Carter, United States Marine Corps. As they walked toward the car, the two friends shared a laugh, the bond of the Corps stronger than any Hollywood spotlight. It had been a long journey from Seychelles by the seashore to the big screen, but in the end, they had both found their best side.